guys, Sarah. Welcome back for a new old pen day video, which are probably my favorite. My love affair with vintage pens continue. This pen is a Waterman that I got from the Facebook group. I bought two pens off someone I've bought some pens from before. As always with, well, what I'm trying with all of my pen purchases are not going crazy overspending. This one and the other one didn't, that rule didn't work. This pen, and it's a Schaefer, definitely fall under the ADHD tax of having a really bad day, checking my phone in the middle of that day, and probably sillily buying two pens. But I still have a couple of pens that I don't use that I'd like to sell, and I might reduce the prices and do a bit of a sales post later on today to try and cover that up. But I'm not going to feel too guilty about it because it is a beautiful pen. So the other one I said to Schaefer, and I'll do a video for that when I can. This is a Waterman W5 in the striated green with gold detailing or hardware. You've got the bands around there. It's probably really hard to see the imprint because it's right where the dark bit is, but it says Waterman's made in England W5, and then you've got the Waterman on the clip there and gold finials, nothing on the bottom. It is a lever filler. We'll fill it up in a moment, and it's a 14 karat semi-flex pen. I always struggle with the focus, but that's what your nib looks like there, 14 karat, and it's got the W5. And I know on a previous Waterman's video that I did, I kind of went through the different numbers and stamps on the nibs indicate different things. This one has a new sack in it, and I just want to do a slow turn. Look at that beautiful striated green there. It's got a little bit of wear on that top part of the body from where the cap sits, but that's okay. Screw cap. I try very rarely to post my vintage pens because I just worry about if it's going to damage it, but it does post quite nicely, but would make it too big for me. From a size comparison point of view, I thought it best to have a look at it next to my other Waterman pen, which is a Waterman 503. I have been calling this one a striated green, but I think I need to change that. So different, like clips, super similar, obviously a little bit of difference in the band there. And the W5 is really a thicker pen. I hate the word girth, it's a gross word, but it's wider. And if I can catch the light just right, even when I unscrewed it, then you can almost, like, you can see through, just that resin is just gorgeous. But size-wise, really similar size to this guy. And then, as always, when I do my little vintage pens, I always like to look at it compared to the smallest vintage pen I have, which is a Conway Stewart Dinky. But then if I was to look at it next to, I guess, a modern full-size pen, I pulled out the TWSBI, so the TWSBI obviously bigger there. I zoom in a little bit, let's see. Ooh, can she zoom? Apparently. Ooh. So that's what it's looking like as the pen is all weight-wise. I'd say it's actually quite similar to the TWSBI. I reckon when we take the caps off, that weight will change. I feel like this one will end up being a little bit lighter, not obviously so. So uncapped, I'm just being careful because the TWSBI is inked up. Actually, so is the 503. I'm just trying to get them really lined up straight there. So your grip section is quite small, quite similar to the 503 with the black, and then that kind of the top of it that goes up at the end there. If you were to just look at those grip sections next to each other, you can really see it is smaller. If I was to line up the threads, you can see the height there, but then nibs, similar size. Obviously steel nib, 14 karat. As I said, posted. So a posted W5 takes then the height over the TWSBI, but then if I post this guy, oh, now I need to zoom back out. That's what we're looking at there. A beautiful pattern and pen and everything else. I thought we would ink it up together. Sorry, I just knocked the camera. I pulled out Diamine Salamander. Try and stick to, if I'm not going to use Parker, I'll use a Diamine ink or an ink that I know is safe. As I've been doing research about Robert Oster inks, I actually feel that could be an option, because I know he, I guess, takes the eco-friendly aspect of his brand quite seriously. There may have been a little bit left residue from the ink that was in it prior, so I'm just cleaning that off there. So it is a lever filler, so like I guess most of my other vintage pens, that lever comes up, there's the sack inside with a T-bar that then pushes it down, and then when you undo the lever, releases that pressure, and then the sack can fill up with ink. This lever, I have to say, is in really good nick. It's not loose, it's not clunky, and that I can just kind of feel the pressure of the bar inside. You kind of end up getting a feel for it. And even like, there's just like really no brassing or tarnishing. It's in really, really good nick. So I picked out Diamine Salamander. Match it to the green. So as always, I'm just putting it in there and soaking it up. I like to do a couple. Sometimes it's a bit obvious. You can actually hear the bubbles. This isn't a super loud one. I don't think, like, I can hardly hear it, so I don't think it's going to come up on the camera there. I guess the only thing with the lever filler is you definitely want a paper towel near, because it obviously gets a bit messy and you really do want to dunk it in there. But again, I want to make sure I'm rubbing all that excess ink off there. And that looks pretty happy. So in my trusty little book here, which is almost near its end, my new old pen day. I'll zoom in for this bit a little bit, I think. So here we have the, oh, are we going to write? Wow, I've never had a vintage pen actually not write straight away. Just grabbing my little notebook. My second of my brain dump books, but shall use a page to try and get it writing. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, wow. I've literally never had that happen before with a vintage pen, and especially you'd think with a Waterman, like the vintage ones at least are so known for their feeds and the flow. I wonder if it's seated properly in there. A little hair there. Let me have, I'm just grabbing some paper towel. Just want to make sure it's seated in there. All right. I take it to the next pen meetup and show my little pen doctor. See what he says. So let's see how we go here. Does it not like this paper? Huh. Does it just need a little bit of a, Oh, now we've got it. This is the Waterman W5, 14 carat in striated. Almost has like a bit of a stub feel going on. So the body is a green striated body, lever, filler, and gold details. Yeah, interesting. The reach. So I got this off the Fountain Pen Australia Facebook, your vintage Watermans. I mean, really, they're going to be in the 150 and up range. I don't think I've seen a vintage Waterman for under that, really. The dance. So this is interesting. Just going to do question mark. Some hard starts. It is a 14 carat, yeah, there you go, semi-flex. So what we're looking at is this is no pressure. Yeah, it definitely has like a stub-like feel, doesn't it? And then let's have a look at that flex. I mean, to say that semi-flex, you're getting a pretty decent line variation. I wonder if the semi is because the thin is still a bit wide, so it's almost a bit stub-like. And I will say it is a wet pen. And the sole, just I am a little bit worried about the hard starts. But love the pen body, the green striated pattern. This pen is going to make me be more aware. See, it keeps up as I'm writing faster there of my writing style and size due to its nib width, can I call it a stub? I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. I think, like, I get the flex, but just in terms of non-flex writing, if I go down, it's not liking the down side. That side left to right, this is up, and then this is side right to left, which are the sides, but I think we could probably call that a stub. So yeah, interesting. I need to know it, get to know it a little bit more, and it's inked with diamine Sala. But look, I love the pen body. I'm a little bit worried about the little bits of skipping that's going on there. Up there you can see it's definitely thicker altogether, and it puts down a lot of ink, but it's drying quite reasonably, I would say. That's still wet down there, but I just wrote this bit, and there you go, a little bit of still there, but it's actually dried pretty reasonably well. So that is the Waterman W5 in the green striated pattern with a W5 14 carat semi-flex nib. I do kind of want to call it a stub nib. And you can see it's quite flat. Can I get that into focus there? Oh, come on. What if I tap? Nope. It's quite flat across. So I will have a look and see, maybe I just need to give it a really good clean right there between the tines. It does feel really stable in there, so I'm not sure what's happening with a little bit of skipping and hard starting, but if I can fix that bit, I think this pen is in a beautiful condition, and I feel like it would be really nice for like letter writing and things like that, where you really want, like, even this diamine ink, because of the width and the amount of ink it puts down, you can, yeah, really see the characteristics and the beauty in the different inks. I think that's quite a nice match as well. I think for the amount of ink it puts down, it's not a pen I'm going to be using on cheaper paper, so probably not one I take to work. But overall, there you go. I would love to know your thoughts, and if you have any videos on any vintage, not just Watermans, but vintage pens you have, can you let me know, because I love watching them. If you saw anything there in terms of how that feed or nib was sitting that I missed, let me know below as well. And I'm not a tinkerer, but I can try and do little tiny, maybe maybe it is off center a little bit, maybe there's a bit of gunk there. I will have a look and see if I can just fix up that little thing. Thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you soon at another new old pen day video.